slight discourse just to prepare the minds and the hearts of the people that's studying with me today to be ready for the message that we're going to get into. So, I want my people that's out there that's watching this video to think about some of the stuff that I'm going to say. And we're going to get into some of them deep 77 frequency vibrations. Being a so-called black person. Being a so-called black person on the planet, period, is hard. All right? Being a so-called black person anywhere on the planet is hard because Satan is the god of this world. I want my people of other so-called races, especially the white race, because when you start talking about some of the other races, they still black, like Hispanics and stuff like that, they still black. So they kind of know what I'm talking about because they go through it too. But I want my white family to listen to me. Think about the stuff that I'm saying. Being a black person on the planet is hard because we are the most oppressed group on the planet. Africa is oppressed. If y'all was to stop mistreating Africa and stop robbing them out of all their wealth and all their natural resources that God has given them, they would be the richest continent with the richest countries in the world. If y'all would stop robbing Africa, they would be rich enough to fund all the black people on the planet. It don't matter if you're in the Caribbean, if you're in America, it don't matter where you at. We could just call Africa and get loans to open up businesses all over. If y'all was to stop robbing them. Having this color skin on this planet puts a target on your back. It's something about the wicked one and the dark sinister pyramid and his hatred for melanated people. You have so-called black people in every country on the planet. It ain't a country you can go in and you won't find black people. In Australia, they call them the Aborigines. In India, you know everybody in India black, but some of the darker skinned India people, they call them the untouchables. You know? And you know, y'all know I'm always in India and stuff with my stuff. The thing about India is before England, Britain went in and called themselves colonizing my people over there, the dark-skinned people was at the top of the chain in India. So that was something they taught my people in India. They taught them that caste system. That wasn't a natural caste system that India had, but it was a caste system given to them by Esau. Esau, the main colonizer and the head agent in the matrix that the wicked one is jumping in and out of them and they coming after us just like on the movie. Right? When you get into my Europe and you run into all my black people that's over there that's immigrants from Africa, I want y'all to pay attention to the places they live. Even in my France, they got some of the biggest projects in the world, full of black people. When you get over there to London, I want you to go over there and look at how the black people living in London. Now go pay attention to that. You see? All right. You come over here to America, and I want you to ride through what they call ghettos. Remember, we put the Jews in ghettos in Germany, so don't forget that. We put the Jewish blacks in ghettos in America, right? I want you to ride through these ghettos in America, and I want you to look at the plight of the so-called blacks over here in America, right? When you get a chance, take a trip to Mexico. And for the people that don't know, it is dark-skinned blacks. You know, all Hispanics is black, but it's dark-skinned blacks in Mexico as well. I want you to go and look and see how they live and where they at on the caste system in Mexico. When you finish with that, Take a trip down to my Brazil where my people, you know, Big Eye John set that up. Go down there to my Brazil. And I want you to look at the plight of the blacks, the dark-skinned blacks, because almost everybody in Brazil black as well. But the dark-skinned blacks, go look at how they living in Brazil. And when you finish, and come back and talk to me. All right. When you leave there, I want you to go to Argentina. But when you get down there in Argentina, what I want you to do is, because you're only going to be able to find a handful of blacks because they disappeared, the blacks, some kind of way. We still don't know where they at. Mic drop. All we know is we heard something about Germans going down there, and the next thing we know, all the black people was gone. But when you go to Argentina, I want you to talk to the blacks. First, notice they living circumstances, and once you notice it, I want you to talk to them and ask them what happened to all the blacks that was in Argentina, because all of us want to know. The whole planet want to know. I don't know if Argentina know that or not, but we want to know what happened to the blacks over there. That's a big, big mystery, right? So I'm saying all this because I want my white brothers and sisters to understand when you targeted by the wicked one, that means it's an all-out hit on you planet-wide. For the whole planet we targeted. It ain't a place where we can go where the target is not on us. And when you go to Haiti and places like that where it's only blacks, then they just target the whole island. Now you understand what I'm saying. The same thing they do in Africa, the Congo and different parts of Africa where my people at. If there's a black leader that rises up with an upright soul and with the heart of a lion and with great intelligence and godly mannerism, even as I am, you instantly become a target. This is why I'm targeted. This is why Malcolm X was targeted. This is why Martin Luther King is targeted. This is why they targeted Sin Cara over there in Africa. This is why they knocked off my boy over there. I think he was in the Congo. The little young one. They killed him, remember? Put him on a plane and hitting him all in the head and stuff. And this is why they target my brother Traore over there. They hate to see black excellence. What I want my blacks that's listening to this video to think about, why are they targeting people like me and Traore and Malcolm X, but they not targeting these other people that's saying they leaders? What's the difference between us and them? Y'all can have that debate in barbershops, but this is what I want my white people to think about. The plight of my people on the planet. And how hard it is just to survive being stamped and marked with this melanated God body. Because we are made in the image of God, and for this reason we hated by the wicked one. You got to realize that many of those creatures had their melanin removed from them and placed under the curse by God. And that's one of the reasons they hate us, because they melanin got took from them. So they mad. So we still seek justice. And the justice that blacks seek is planetary, is planet-wide. It ain't just in America, but it's in Africa, it's in America. We got something to say in the Caribbean, in South America, in Asia, we got something to say. It don't matter where you talking about, the dark-skinned people have something to say. We want an equal opportunity, and we want to be treated fairly, and we want to start the race in the same spot as the other contestants in the race. Because right now, the way they got it going is they shoot the gun and all them take off running, but they hold us. And once they make one lap, then they let the black people go and we start running, but we never get to catch up with them because we ain't get to start when they got to start. So they ain't giving us a fair run. In America, they made up this. It's so many different wicked systems I could talk about in America, but the one that the Holy Spirit brought to my mind was credit. They made up something called credit, dude. We don't know who controlling that, who making the numbers. All we know is the blacks getting the short end of the stick on that. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors over here. When you look at the numbers, when I was saying of the billionaires on the planet and the millionaires, it don't add up. If the blacks represent 90-something% of the people on the planet, well, how is 90-something% of the billionaires white? That's against all mathematical odds. That's totally impossible. Y'all don't cover enough ground on the planet to have that many billions. Too much areas of land masses that y'all don't live in for y'all to have that many billions. So that don't make no sense. I'm just trying to show y'all something. It's just common sense that it's not what we think it is. And we really not getting a fair chance. I want some of my white brothers to put themselves in our shoes. Understand why when you get to heaven, you're going to see a majority of black people. You got to understand what happened to us when we was down here in the devil world. The way we was treated. And you got to compare it to the way that Jesus was treated and other righteous beings that incarnated here on the physical plane. We still seeking justice. We still seeking a fair chance. When you look at the system over here, look at the gerrymandering, how they watering down the votes and how they watering down the black vote, and they rigging the districts in a way that blacks don't have a voice. That's taxation without representation. These people claim that they are constitutionalists and that they are America and all this stuff, but the founding fathers didn't agree with that. They wouldn't have never did that. The founding fathers believed in one man, one vote. I don't care who you is, everybody equal. Everybody get one vote. We don't care how much money you got. We don't care who your lobbyist is, you get one vote. The founding fathers didn't believe in, let's go in a dark smoke-filled room and change the maps and make it where certain parties win. Man, George Washington would have kicked the tables off and ran them out there with a whip like Jesus did the money changers. That ain't nothing but a group of money changers we talking about. How can you be a leader of the people in your state and the people in your district and a role model to Christians and Israelites and even good Muslims if your character is tainted? If you dealing in shady dealings and mafia style politics, how can you be our leader? You got to think like that. So we blacks, or so-called blacks, what we want is a fair chance and a fair shake. We don't want y'all to give us nothing. We don't need nothing from y'all. See, number one, except for our reparations. Now, we talking about our reparations. We got to get that with y'all. But as relates to our reparations, white people, it's something that y'all owe us. So we still not asking for handouts. So black people don't want no handouts. We want what y'all owe us. And it's called reparations. So once you give us our reparations, we can shake hands and walk away from the table. This is what I be trying to tell my white people all the time. When you tired of hearing black people talk, you need to pay us reparations, and everybody that collect a check gotta sign a waiver. This what I mean when I say I got answers to all the problems. It don't matter what the problem is, I can solve it. So if I was up there, I would make life so much easier for the people in America. Because I would solve some of the problems that some people are not perceiving as a problem, but it is a problem. Like not giving black people their reparations is a big, big problem. That's causing a lot of talking and it's keeping us from being united and on one accord and one frequency. So the music don't sound right because the blacks is irritated and unhappy about getting jacked and not getting their reparations. So we got some people in the symphony that's off chord and they not playing right. So the music in America don't sound right. I would have it sounding like the New York Symphony. This is what I'm trying to show you. I have it sounding like a symphony in Paris if I was in that thing. Because I would correct some of the stuff that a lot of politicians overlook. Like pay them their reparations, bro, so we could be on one accord. Pay them their reparations. And they like, where we gonna get that from? I'm saying, well, we can start from the 17 billion we trying to pay for a war. Let's take 2 billion out that and give that to them, and then we can use 15 billion. This is what I'm trying to tell my people. If we already got nuclear weapons, why do we need more weapons? We got nuclear weapons. We don't need nothing. We could disappear them. If I already got an AK-47 and a flamethrower and a missile launcher, why do I need a 22, a 38, and a 9mm? Why not pay my army so we can be on one accord when we using the AKs, the flamethrowers, and the missile launchers? Listen to Lil Solomon. Because I can have many guns as I want, but if my people ain't on one accord, we going to lose. Every team must play as a team, and in order to play as a team, all the players must be paid. Go ask any of my brothers in the NBA. Go ask them people in the NFL. You can go ask my people in the WNBA, or you can go ask the Major League Baseball team. Go ask the Yankees, or go ask the California Angels. Or you come down here and talk to the Pelicans. And they'll let you know when it's players on their team that's in a contract dispute and they don't want to play, pay them people don't want to play. They don't even want to come to practice. Be out there shooting from anywhere. Because they don't want to pay that dude. So, in order to make harmony over here, one of the first things I do is pay the blacks their reparations. I give one of the biggest standing ovations in Congress, and everywhere I go, people be clapping and jumping up and throwing confetti like this the one that signed the reparations for black people. Finally. It took them 200 years, but it got done when Lil Stone was up there. I would take $1 billion out that, $1 billion out that, and we don't need that billion for that. We need to pay our team, dude. You understand? We need to pay our team. And what's going to happen is, when you introduce all this money to all these blacks, they're going to put that money back in the system, and it's going to cause all us to start making money. We're going to start selling more houses. We're going to start selling more cars. Now all of a sudden the bank's getting more investment. Now we opening up more businesses. Now we got more tax money because we taking taxes out the money that the black people got. Now it's going to be a benefit. Ain't no difference in that and the stimulus checks getting passed out because the economy moving sluggish. This is kind of why I need to be in Senate right now. Because I need to start bringing some of this stuff to the floor. You see? So, and explaining it to them why we need to do it and getting everybody to understand what I'm saying is right. This is what we need to do. It's a waste of money for us to pay $17 billion for missiles that we shoot and it's over. We shot the missile, it's over. We don't get no benefits. It don't go back into the system. Ain't no taxes getting made off that. It ain't benefiting us at all. This is why I said if we lead in peace, like my brother Modi do in India, if we lead in peace, then we don't have to be shooting all these missiles. Then we could keep that money and give it to the blacks for reparations, and we could still have a stockpile of missiles because we never got to use them. Come on, come walk with Lil Stone. Come walk with me. So what we need to do is reappropriate the funding to a lot of these platforms and rearrange it and rearrange our priorities and raise black people up in our priority list because they're a major part of the country. So it's like you neglecting the oil change. You don't want to do an oil change, bro. I see you got new tires and rims and loud music, but you need an oil change, bro. Your car knocking. When you gonna do something for the motor? That's a main part to the car. Black people is the motor. They're the engine of America. It's time that the blacks get an oil change. So reparations would be a great start to unifying the country and giving a boost to our economy. Because all they're going to do is go back and spend it. It's just like income tax. They're going to just get their money and go and spend it. And what it's going to do is it's going to keep blacks from looking for as many loans, and people going to start getting paid off. Debt's going to get paid off. I will make the economy do a 360-degree flip in front of everybody. And they'll be like, how did that happen, dude? I'm going to say because I build with the right hand. That's how. You build with the left and I build with the right. I build from selflessness and love. You build from selfishness and lust. If you don't gain from it personally, you don't want to do it. But for me, if the country isn't moving forward, then I don't want to do it. That's the difference. I don't need nothing from the country. I need the country to operate as a machine. This is what I'm saying. So when you give this money to these blacks, what they gonna do is they gonna put it back into the system. So everybody gonna benefit. But when I'm taking $100 billion and giving it to that country, that's not coming back to us. When I'm taking $200 billion and buying buku missiles, then going shooting them over there, that's a big loss. That's common sense. If I go buy 3 rocket launchers for $100 million, then I go shoot them in Afghanistan and leave them over there, that was a waste of money. You just shot a couple of mountains in a mountainous region. You ain't make no mark. Soon as you finished shooting, them people came out them caves with AKs and shot your little helicopter up. And the Taliban still standing tall. Still standing tall. You ain't do nothing. When y'all gonna give us a chance at leadership? All right. We do have great ideas, you know. Like my brother said in the book of Revelations, he said, these are the true sayings of God, you know. Right? So this what I'm saying is the true sayings of God. Because last time I checked, I'm filled with the Spirit, just like Paul said. And I speak with the wisdom of King Solomon. So these are the true sayings of God, you know. So what I'm telling you is, I want the team to play with harmony. So what I'm going to do, my white brothers, because I be hearing y'all saying about white fatigue and how y'all getting tired of hearing black people saying this and talking about how y'all stole that and Black Wall Street and y'all put them cities in Georgia underwater and Rosewood and the Devil's Punch Bowl and you stole this and 9 acres and a mule and you did that. We tired of this. We tired of this. Right, people? Okay, pay black people. And this what I'm going to do when I pay them. I'm going to make them sign a waiver. So the only way you get your check, if you sign this waiver. The check and the waiver get passed at the same time. Sign, and here go your check. And somebody raised their hand and said, brother, what the waiver is. And I said, that's a good question. Pour that brother a cup of Ethiopian coffee, and you go sit in your seat in Congress. Go sit down over there, and then I'm explaining it for the whole Congress to hear me. What the waiver gonna do is this. It's gonna shut them up. So when you sign a waiver, I don't want to hear nothing else about Black Wall Street. I don't want to hear y'all talking about we robbed y'all. Don't come back talking about no 40 acres and a mule. I'm gonna automatically sue you for my money back because you're gonna be a breach of contract. The waiver is once I pay you That's a dead issue. I don't want to hear it no more. It's just like when you get in a car wreck and you wreck somebody and they running around talking about you hit their car and you owe them and this and that. But once your lawyer pay them, they got to shut up. When they come up, he hit my car. Then I say, but I paid you. Should have took the check and fixed your car. I don't want to hear nothing about that no more. We paid y'all. And what this gonna do is move us past all these old storylines that's going around in circles and circles and circles. And we got to keep hearing Black Wall Street over and over again. Now we back talking about Rosewood. Now we back talking about 40 acres and a mule. Now here we go talking about reparations again. Now there it is again. Black people talking about we robbing them. You know, over and over again. We don't have to hear that no more. Now my black people can focus on bringing new inventions to the physical plane because black people are brilliant. And if I could free my black people up and take that big weight off them, then they freed up to bring in the new frequencies, and God then pulled energy on all my people. So God then pulled energy on the blacks. So they have the ability to bring forth the new inventions that's going to walk us into the age of Aquarius right now. See, y'all got to get my book. Get this book. In this book, we talk about this. So in this book, we talk about these topics I'm talking about right now, as well as the second one and the third one. They're going to go on and on. They're going to get deeper and deeper. The book of prophecy going to tell you about some of the things the blacks going to be doing in the age of Aquarius, as well as some of the other countries that are from black stock. What are we talking about? South America? What are we talking about? Asia? What are we talking about? My India over there? What are we talking about? Africa? Or the Caribbean. These people going to be doing some great things in the years to come. And America is potentially still the greatest country, and is impossible to beat. But we got to have the right coach, and we got to have a coach that understands that we're impossible to beat, like I do. And somebody say, why are we so impossible? And I say, because we diverse, brother. We diverse. So we got three-point shooters, we got defenders, we got people that can block you, we got post players, we can run a triangle, we can run the run and shoot. We got whites, we got blacks, we got Arabs, we got Hispanics, we got people from the Caribbean, we got West Indians, we got people Russians, we got people from England, we got people from all over the world. Nobody can beat us if we playing with perfect harmony and we unify and playing on one accord. Nobody can beat us. Because when you look at them other countries, they're not quite as diverse as America is. So it's some pieces that they missing. They might not have three-point shooters. Or that country right there, I see they play good defense, but they can't play the run and shoot. I see they can play the run and shoot, but we'll do the triangle on them, and they ain't got nobody that can defend our centers. You know, we can beat everybody. We can out-scheme them. But we got to play as a team. The reason we haven't been moving forward as a country is all our players are not playing on one accord and unified and giving 110%. For the business owners that's listening to me, as well as the team players that's listening to this video, I want you to think about what I'm saying. If I come to your team, all right, let's say your team is the New Orleans Saints, and I come to the Saints, and I ask each player, I have interviews with each player, and I say, bro, how much you making? And he say $1 million, and I say, okay, I'm giving you 1.5 million. Then the next one come in, I say, how much you making? And he said, I'm making 20 million. I said, all right, I'm giving you 22 million. Then the next player come in, I say, how much you making? I'm making 27 million. Then I shake his hand and say, congratulations, I'm giving you 28 million. Think about how jovial and excited the locker room gonna be. Think about how hard they gonna play for me. Once I pay everybody, this is when I'm gonna come in the locker room and stand on top of one of the tables, and I'm gonna tell them, listen, I paid all y'all more than what y'all worth. I expect y'all to give me 110% every game this season. So we should go undefeated. Y'all think y'all could do that? And they go, yes, sir, yes, sir. It's going to be a loud chorus of yes, sir, yes, sir. And I'm going to say, all right, it's official. All y'all going to get y'all extra money today. Y'all dismissed. Boom, and walk out. When you pay people, they tend to give you 110%. But you got to pay people what they worth, because if they feel like they getting paid right, they ain't going to give you that energy. That's how it is at my job. I'm a truck driver, but some people at the job be like, nah, they making this much at the other company. They don't pay me. I ain't doing all that. Some people be like, yeah, I do some of that, but I ain't trying to hurt myself. They ain't paying me to be doing all. This is how people talk. I want business owners to understand that. This is how blue-collar workers talk. Nah, they pay $25 over there. We ain't making nothing but 20. I ain't doing all that. They don't do all that over there. They making more money than us. That's how people talk. So you got to pay people what they worth. And if it's me, I'm going to give them a little extra. If you notice what I was saying about the Saints. I ain't no joke. So when I come in like the man on Lean On Me with a bat. And I change the whole culture. Just like a Nick Saban. I would change the whole culture. And we'll have a winning attitude, because just like Nick Saban, I pay everybody what they worth. So when you coaching under Nick Saban, you tend to make $3 million, but you probably was coaching for somebody else getting $1 million. All y'all got to do is go back and look at it, and you're going to see what I'm saying. And go ask the people in Alabama how Nick Saban's budget was, and watch what they say. Oh yeah, Nick Saban was making $100 million a year. I'm going to say, see what I'm saying? That's why his product that he was giving us was the best, because everybody was getting paid for what they was worth. You pay for the best, you tend to get the best. If you want a penny pitch and be all stingy, you're going to get less than a great product, because you ain't willing to pay for it. This is why I'm going to pay reparations to the blacks. As it relates to, I don't want to call it the civil rights movement, because I don't like to talk like that. Because I'm actually a representative of God, and I represent all the people on the planet. But at the same time, I am a member of the so-called black race, and I do care about them, because this is my family, right? So as it relates to the blacks receiving justice on the planet and moving forward, one of the biggest things that's stagnating us on the planet at this time is we got too many people talking. And that's a big, big, big problem. We got too many people talking. See, if some of these people just and get out the way and just let a couple of us go up there and talk, we'll walk away with reparations. We got too many people talking. If you go back and look at when the children of Israel, which is black people, was in bondage in Egypt, which is black people. So it was black people enslaving other black people in the book of Genesis. When you go back and read that, when God got ready to set us free, God sent Moses. When Moses said he couldn't speak too good, God sent Aaron. 2 people. God ain't say, oh, I'm going to send Aaron, Joab, Adamabab, Jonadab, and Bishnadab. It's going to take all y'all to talk to get it. God ain't say that. God say the less voices, the more powerful the voices that is talking is. The less people that's talking, the people that is talking become more powerful when the other ones step back and shut up. This is why God sent Moses up there. You probably had millions of Israelites in Egypt at that time. At least hundreds of thousands. God ain't say, I want all y'all to start demanding y'all freedom in a chorus. Y'all start all saying stuff. God ain't say that, because that wasn't going to work. The Egyptians was going to get frustrated from all them saying stuff, and was going to get to arguing with some of them, and was going to start killing some of them. Too many people talking. But if all of us get behind a couple of people and let them talk for us, then we could get it done. That's what I was trying to tell my brothers when I said, I'm going to talk for the tribe of Judah. You see what I'm saying? We don't need everybody up here talking, because y'all bringing too much confusion. What made the movement so powerful when we had Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, because we only had a couple of people talking. We ain't have hundreds. We ain't have the internet. We ain't have YouTube with thousands of people on here making videos talking. Malcolm X was talking for us. Or either Martin Luther King was talking for us. And everybody else was just sitting back letting them throw the ball, play quarterback. And this is how we was getting stuff done. See, you got to understand, the wicked one is working against the unity that we trying to bring forward. If y'all pay attention to my ministry and what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to unify us. That's the only way we can move forward. But every time I start pulling everybody in, you got other people that's jumping up saying stuff and separating us. Oh, the blacks against the Asians. Oh, the blacks against, and all this stupid stuff. And I'm like, no, man, we trying to unify with everybody. We don't need to talk like that. We don't even need you talking at all. Go sit down. Because you separating us and we ain't going to never get nothing done like that. We can't get reparations being separated. If you don't know how to unify us, I need you to get out my way. Because I do. This is why I say the Catholics, the Baptists, the Pentecostals, to my white brothers, to my family in South America, to my Asians, you know they black too. I try to bring it to one. I know what I'm doing. We can't move forward without unity. If you don't know how to do that, or if you bring in separation among my people, I need you to shut up. This is why it's so hard for us to move forward now, because we got too many people talking. When Malcolm X was talking, he probably was almost the only one. He didn't have 100,000 more people jumping up all over the United States saying stuff to white people, or we wouldn't have never got nothing done. Every time they wanted to talk, we said, all right, bring Malcolm X on Field Donahue. We want to debate. Okay, you want to debate? Go debate Malcolm X. Oh, we want to talk. Okay, we're going to send Malcolm X to London. Oh, we want to talk. Okay, go talk to Malcolm X. He's talking for us. He talking for us. We want to talk. Okay, talk to Martin Luther King. We want to debate. Debate Martin Luther King. We don't want to talk. We want to debate. Okay, here go see Chris Wilson. We want to debate. Okay, here go see Chris Wilson. She talking for us. We don't need everybody jumping up saying stuff. In this way, this is how YouTube is keeping the blacks from moving forward, because it got too many people on there that's saying stuff that's causing dissension among the races. Every time we try to pull everybody in a boat, listen, if I get everybody in a boat, we going to get reparations. We going to get this. We going to get to go back to Israel. If y'all just get out the way and let me do this. Because I am who I say I am. And white people know that. Blacks don't know that. Blacks is the ones that don't know that. White people know who I am. So white people know he's the actual king of the Jews for real. Like white people know that. That's Stone. That's Edward David. He the actual son of David for real. Like, he not lying. Blacks just don't know it. Blacks think people can challenge him. Hitting my coffee. So I ain't just jump up with a talent like this, but I was born to do exactly what I'm doing. I was born to do this. You got to understand that. Stop trying to challenge me and just get out my way. It's like them was trying to challenge Moses when the ground opened up and swallowed all up. When God was like, I sent Moses. Like, who are y'all? How many of y'all been to heaven? How many of y'all kin to David? So what make you think we called you to go do it? God like, bruh, stay in your place. Let the David go up there and talk to him. I trained him to do exactly what he's doing. God trained me exactly to do what I'm doing right now. I got the heart that it takes to do it. I got the courage to face Goliath, and I got the love in my heart to unify everybody. I'm not against anybody. So that's the difference in me and a lot of other people. I'm not against Esau. You got to start paying attention to me. I want us to get ours. I don't care about other people. I'm not even focused on them. You got to realize if we the best team in the NFL, it don't really matter what the other team's doing. We don't care what they doing. It don't even matter. Long as my players get paid, long as everybody's showing up at practice, long as we undefeated, we don't care what Esau doing. This is what I'm saying. So we have too many people talking. Number two, people want to know who you is when you is talking. So, I mean, when you talk about white people and stuff, they like, who is that anyway? Dude, we don't have to listen to him. We billionaires. Who that is? So it's only a couple of us that they actually going to listen to. You got to be who you say you is, and they ain't listening to you anyway. You just causing some of the blacks to not listen to me. And I'm trying to get them all in the box, but you keep trying to disagree with what I'm saying when all you need to do is just shut up. Just shut up. You don't have nothing good to say like Mama used to say, don't say nothing at all. Because I'm going to get us I'm going to get us to the promised land if y'all just don't challenge me. Don't challenge me, just get back. Let me quarterback the ball. Because if y'all realize the other team is terrified of me throwing the ball. They terrified. They see me throwing the ball 90 yards at practice. Throwing 90-yard touchdowns over and over again. Scrambling for 80 yards and not getting touched. This is what the other races see. This is why I have people watching my videos all over the world. Because they see it. They like him. That dude like a Lamar Jackson. That dude like a Patrick Mahomes. If the blacks ever notice him and get out his way, we can start winning. You understand? So that's what I'm saying. So we just have too many people talking, and that's the problem. Like, soon as I finish saying some stuff that unite us, then a couple of dum-dums get up there and say stuff that have us challenging each other, and it's keeping us from moving forward. Because we're going to need people from different races to vote for us to get our reparations. I understand what I'm doing. That's why I be trying to tell them, just shut up and let me talk. If we don't get the Asian community to back us up and the Hispanics to back us up and some of the whites to back us up, we ain't going to never get reparations. We need everybody to stand with us. So we need the other races to agree that it is time for the blacks to get their money. Yeah, it is. And we need some whites to say, well, I guess it ain't that bad. We do owe them. I'm going to go ahead and vote for it too. And we'll get it. But long as we antagonizing this group, ostracizing this group, battling this group, everybody's standing against us, and we don't have enough blacks in power to get nothing done. I'm sitting there at quarterback getting frustrated because I'm like, I told the wide receiver to run a slant. He done ran a post. What is he doing? I called the wide receiver, come here, bro, what you doing? I told you to run a slant. Oh, no, I felt like I want. Don't feel no way. Run the play that's wrote in the book. Run the play that God got wrote. Run the plays that's in the book. Stop thinking for yourself and just do the plays. God then wrote it down already. So we done went through the book of Ezekiel. God then told you everything. He even told you he gonna put David back on the throne. Run the plays that's in the book. This is what I'm saying. And with the church, the reason the church is not as powerful as it was in the days of Acts and the church of Acts, meaning raising people from the dead, healing people, doing miraculous things, going to hospitals. The church should be the main physicians and doctors all over the planet. We should be the main group of people that's going around praying for people and raising them up from their sick beds. We should be calling people out of caskets. Man, we should be doing the same works that the apostles did. Just like Jesus said, if I was able to do these things, you're going to do even greater things. We should be doing even greater things. The reason the church is not as powerful because we got too many contaminants that's blocking our connection. So you got to look at it like an electrical socket. For my brothers that understand how to wire a room electrically, and for my brothers that understand how to hook up music, and different people that understand electricity, we got to have a good connection, even how to hook up a battery. If you just put the battery wire, if you just hook the battery up but you don't tighten the lugs down and the battery wire be all loose, the car ain't going to start because it don't have a good connection. And you probably got contaminants between the metal, so it's blocking the it's blocking electricity from traveling from one device to the next device. That's how you learn it in school. You know what I'm saying? All the devices, electricity got to travel from one device to another device, and if anything is blocking it, that's the reason why that device is not coming on. So you got to find a blockage and remove it. So the blockage that's keeping us from getting our reparations is too many people talking. So that's why I came on here and tried to remove some of them just now. Like, get out the way, y'all blocking it. I got a connection where I could get a direct connection to the device if all y'all get out the way. Just get back and let me take over the game. I got it. Like a Lamar Jackson, I can beat them. I can actually beat them. Y'all get back, I can beat them. I can beat them, for real. That's what I'm telling y'all. I see their defense. I can run over their defense. It ain't no game to me. It's easy. All right? So, with the church, it's the same way. We don't have a good connection. And without a good connection, we got contaminants between it, so it's keeping us from getting a powerful connection of electricity. So it's keeping the spirit from traveling to one device to the other device. And it's keeping us from being able to raise the dead, from laying hands and raising people up, from doing this, from doing all these miraculous acts that Jesus was doing. Jesus had a pure connection to the Holy Spirit, but we got a lot of contaminants that's blocking us. We got too many false prophets. We got too much false doctrine. We got too many people judging each other. All this trash is blocking the connection. To operate in the power of God, you got to operate in pure love. Love is the energy that God called for, and that's the only energy that God supports. So, you got to operate in pure love and love for one another. And if you operating in that energy, then God going to give you a mega dose of energy. That's why I got so much energy to do so much. But because I understand it, but if I could teach this to the rest of my people, then all of us could become superheroes. Like instantly, everybody will start powering up all over the country, all over the planet. They'll be like, wow, I ain't know I could do all this. And I'm going to say, yeah, you always had the power. And they're going to say, what was holding me back? I'm going to say, you wasn't operating in pure love. You was operating in selfishness. So you was only willing to do whatever benefits you, but you wasn't trying to do the thing that benefit the planet. You wasn't willing to risk your life to be a bridge for other people to walk across you to get to the other side. But it's going to take a few of us to do that in order for us to get to the other side. So we almost got to make a human bridge. So we got to be selfless like Christ was. That's why Christ said you got to take up your cross and follow me in order to walk that Christ walked in and operate in the power he operated in. You got to take up your cross and follow him. You got to become a bridge that all of us can walk across. And yeah, in my heart, I can feel like I'm too valuable, being a king, a bloodline king, to be the one to have to lay down and let everybody walk across me. But I got pure love in my heart, and I see that ain't nobody else gonna do it. Like, yeah, if we was in the days of David, a lot of people lay down and let us walk across them. But we not. We're in a time of selfishness. We're in a time that people even challenging the house of David. People feeling like they could say, I got just as much, I could say stuff too. I could challenge. You know, all this crazy stuff that God will open up the earth and swallow a couple of. Like God told him, I talked to Moses face to face. I don't talk to none of y'all face to face. So what make y'all think y'all could challenge Moses? So for y'all doing it, y'all gonna walk in the wilderness for 40 years before. See what I'm saying? You gotta stop griping. In God's kingdom is decency and order. And it's not set up by men. We don't vote or nothing like that. God chooses who he wants. God told Samuel, look, go to the house of Jesse. I got somebody over there I'm finna anoint to be my king. Oh, it's gonna be this brother. God said, no, it ain't him. What about him right there? God said, it ain't him either. Then they said, all we got is the little one, the little weak one left. God said, that's the one I want. God said, I don't choose by the outside, but I choose by the heart. And he said, none of you humans can see the heart of people, so you don't know who is who. He said, Stone got enough courage to challenge Goliath with no hesitation, and he's loving enough to be the bridge for everybody to walk across. That's my king right there. Now you understand. So, in order for the church to operate in the full power of God, we got to remove the contaminants that's blocking our connection to the sky, and we got to operate in pure love. So we got to begin to teach the principle of love again. That's one of the main principles I teach in this book. The principle of love is one of the main principles, because remember, God is love. So we want to serve God in everything but in love. The Pharisees think God is law. So they think God is the law. God is the law. No. God is love. And if you love God, then you're going to do the law. The law is secondary. The love is primary. If you love God, you're going to do the law. Simple as that. Because you can't be in his presence unless you're walking in obedience. Mic drop. This is why. If you love being in the presence of God and you love being filled with the Holy Spirit of God, then that means you got to walk in alignment with the Spirit of God, and you got to yield to the Spirit and allow the Spirit of God to take control of your life and lead you through the physical plane. I was saying this on an earlier video. It should be the one that I dropped right before this. When I was saying that God is looking for bodies to use to bless the world and love the world through. This is why we filled with the Holy Spirit in the first place. We have been foreordained to good works that we should walk in them by the Spirit of God. So it's the Spirit of God that's doing the good works in us. And God wrote down the good works that we got to do, plus he doing them in us. So God already know what you're supposed to do. God like, yeah, I wrote down for Stone to get reparations for black people. So I'm going to just feel his spirit and start leading them into doing the moves to do it. And then you got people that's not filled with the spirit jumping up and saying stuff. I'm like, man, get out the way, dude. That ain't wrote in the book. That what you saying ain't wrote in the book. The book says the house of David was going to return to the throne. Got to understand what it's saying in the book. If I need to read it in Ezekiel right now, I will. It's in the 36th chapter of Ezekiel, either 37, I'll show you. God said, and I'm going to put David back over my people. Forever. God ain't say, I'm going to put David back over Judah. No, God said, I'm going to put David back over Israel, period. Hold up. Let me go get this right quick. It's in Ezekiel. We're going to end on that note. I'm going to read this for y'all. All right? Look, I turned straight to it. Ezekiel 34. I'm going to start reading at Ezekiel 34 and 22 for the people that's listening to me. Ezekiel 34 and 22 says, therefore I will save my flock, and they shall no more be prey, and I will judge between cattle and cattle. God said, I'm going to save my flock. I'm going to come get my Israelites from America. I'm coming to get my people from the Caribbean. I'm going to reach down in South America and get my people from down there. God said, I'm going to Canada and get my Israelites. He said, when I bring them all back to Africa, then I'm going to go get the scattered tribes that's all over Africa. And I'm going to bring them together back with my Israelites that I got in northwest Africa. This is what and they will no longer be prey to the nations. Remember, I started the video out talking about how we was prey everywhere. I started out talking about how we was on the bottom of the caste system and how we was the untouchables and the outcasts over here, and over there they don't like us, and over there we're in the ghetto, and over there they got us as the people that got to sweep the streets and stuff, and over there they got us as the people that open the doors at the hotels for everybody, but they got us at the bottom of the caste system. But God said we no longer going to be preyed upon, but when we work, we going to get paid. God said it ain't going to be another time when they refuse to give your reparations, when they work your family and get you to build a country and never pay you. Even though they promised to pay y'all. God said that's predatory activities. And my white people understand that. That means that we was prey. P-R-E-Y. Not P-R-A-Y. We wish y'all would do that for us. But this the P-R-E-Y. We was prey because y'all operated as predators when you got us to build the wealth of this country and never paid us. This same action was done all over the planet. Y'all did it in the West Indies. Y'all did it to my Haitians. Y'all did it to my people in Jamaica. Y'all did it down to my family in Brazil. Y'all did it to my people in Colombia. Y'all did it to my people in Belize. You did it to my family in Venezuela. Y'all did it to my people in Panama. Y'all even did it to the blacks in Mexico. So y'all practice this predatory practice all over the planet. Even in the Congo, Lumumba, that's my brother. That's my brother, Lumumba. So that's why I was trying to think about. Y'all killed Lumumba. And we still mad about that. Y'all think we not, but we is. That was one of our kings, right? So the Spirit brought it back to my mind. I'm glad before I finished making this video, Lumumba was one of our kings that they killed. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep reading. So verse 23 say, so God gonna bring us back to Africa. Then verse 23 say, and I will set one shepherd over them. I will set one shepherd over them. Not two shepherds, not thousands of people talking. Not you could challenge the one shepherd. Not, I'm going to make 5 shepherds, but you're going to be over Judah, and you're going to be over Ephraim, and you're going to be over Manasseh. God ain't say that. God say, I will set one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David. Mic drop. He shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd. God said, I got one shepherd for them, and it's the house of David. God ain't say, no, I'm going to keep them split. I'm going to put David over Judah, but I'm going to put different people over Israel. God said, no. I'm going to put one shepherd over them, one voice, and it's going to be David. And I, the Lord, will be their God, and my servant David a prince among them, and I, the Lord, have spoken it. So God said it, and it is what it is. So don't be shocked when you see Edward David just start rising up all of a sudden, because his prophecy is exactly what God said. God say the house of David gonna return right before I come get my people, and I'm gonna put his son David up there. And this is gonna be their king. This is their king. Their king is David.